Alright, so this is going to be about how to use Ghost Rider the most effective way. First, we'll start by going through all of his abilities. That way you understand what they do and how you want to combo them. And then I'll show how to combo them. So the first one is his signature ability. This is if you finish a 5-hit combo with a medium attack. That's when you're attacking, instead of tapping, which is a light attack, you swipe to the right on the right side, and that will do a medium attack. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4 with taps, and then swipe on the last one, and you'll get that 5th hit medium attack, and it does more damage than the other ones. And it also gives a little bit of a better delay in terms of being able to get abilities off. So you do that, and you'll gain a bunch of damage through the Fury. And if you combo that with his first thing, which is the Judgment Spite, which is bleeding, you'll get a longer bleed duration because of this passive ability that nope, sorry. This one, sorry. Judgments. 75% longer for each previous judgment placed. So, if you don't have if you have a bleed immune target, use the first finish with a light attack, so you can get bleed, and it will just do nothing, but you'll get that judgment on them, so when you get the Fury buff, or you want to use his first special attack to Fate Seal, then it'll have a 75% longer duration, and it won't waste that first bleed, you know. I've done it a few times where you get the Fury off, and then you go for the bleed to get big stacks of damage on your bleed, and then that's a bleed immune target, and you just wasted your Fury buff. Because, like I said, the bleed, if you have the Fury first, it does more damage and lasts longer. The heavy attack is Lifesteal, so you're going to want to use that. Typically, the best thing to do is use that third, get your Fury buff off, then bleed them, or if they're kind of low and you need health right now, get the Fury buff off, and then stun them with a parry and use a heavy attack and get that lifesteal, and then use the damage from the Fury buff and the longer time to get more health quicker. That's why I use them on attack, is because if I screw up a little bit and I get punched in the face, I can heal up and make things right again, get back to 100%. His special attack 2 is a power drain, and it's pretty good. It does a lot of damage, so if you want to, you can do a lot of damage if you use the Fury buff and then do the special attack 2. You'll do crazy amounts of damage, like 2,500 on a crit sometimes is what I get, and that I might be remembering that wrong. That might just be its regular damage that it does. And then his special attack 3 does Damnation, which means they cannot, well, it says right here, they're power locked, heal blocked, and fate sealed. So you basically just have free run at beating the crap out of them. And once that ends, it resets all of your previous judgments, so you can start stacking stuff again. That way you can heal again. So another thing is if you have a special attack 3 ready, and you parry and get the heal off, get that heavy attack, get the heal buff, and then you drop a special attack 3. As long as they don't KO from the special attack 3, you'll gain a bunch of health from it right away. So if you're in a bad situation and you can get both those things off really quick, you'll set yourself up to be a lot better off. He's also bleed immune, so that's very nice when you're fighting Nightcrawlers, because their deep wounds doesn't hurt you anymore. So they just do regular damage instead of stacking crazy amounts of bleed damage on you. And that basically sums it up. I can't think of anything else. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, against villain opponents, he gets more powerful. I mean, you don't necessarily even notice too much. It just makes things a little bit more reliable. It's really not that big of a deal. So I'll show you what I'm talking about against the Winter Soldier, or at least I'll try. It'll be really sad if I mess up and look like a fool, but we'll give it a try. I haven't fought this Winter Soldier in forever. We'll see if I can still remember how to do it. So we're going to start with the Fury buff. So, and there's that swipe to get the Fury. It's not going to let me get the bleed off too. There it is. See, that bleed is lasting a long time. I'm just going to go through all of his abilities, and then I'll let him kill me. I'm not going to try and kill him, that'll take all day. So I'm going to try and get the special 3, get up to hit him with a heavy attack, and then use the special 3. With this Winter Soldier, you have to be even more careful about not letting him get to that special attack too, because that hurts. Alright, as soon as I get a parry, go for it. There we go. Ah, nice, got it. Well, that's fitful. And dried at 80 hits. See, 400 health. It heals you based on how much damage you do, and since they gave him a bonus armor, I assume, in this, because I am not doing the normal amount of damage I do, it's not doing much. Nice, that was perfect, because he doesn't really have anything to Fate Seal, so now I can go back and try and get that Fury, and it will last longer. And then I'll show you the difference in bleed damage. There we go. Now we get the bleed. Come on. There we go. See, it's doing 400 on him right now, whereas before it only did like 300 and something. Alright, we'll drop that, and then it just doesn't do very much damage. But if you want to get heavy attacks off, the best way is to parry them first. I still need to work on intercepting people with heavies, but I mean, that's how you do it. That's the best way I know how to fight with him, is just know what his attacks do and use them appropriately. Try and decide, like how I decided that, well, Winter Soldier doesn't really, he gains a Fury buff, which isn't really much to worry about, so you might as well use the Fate Seal on him, and then get your Fury buff, and then bleed him. That way you can do as much damage as possible. And you just need to understand what the character is you're fighting against as to how best to utilize that stuff. Like with some, it's really important that you use the Fate Seal on them to keep them from healing or from doing anything else that you don't want them to do. So the best thing is to, Fury, then bleed, and get to the special attack 2, use that, and if you have to, like, heal before you use the special attack 2, but your goal is to get that special attack 1 off eventually with a few Fury or Judgments before that, just so it lasts as long as possible, and then go straight for the S3, and that way they're Fate Sealed right up until you get the S3, and then they're cursed or baned or whatever it is, I forgot, and you won't have to worry so much about their abilities. You'll just be able to breeze through them a lot easier. So I think that's it for him. Like, I don't know what else you possibly need to know about him. He's pretty strong. It's nice on attack and like quests and stuff because of that versatility. I can heal up if I make a mistake. I can Fate Seal somebody so they can't heal, or fighting an unstoppable Colossus, it's really nice to Fate Seal them so they can't get that unstoppable buff. And if you have the S3 on them, it's the same thing. They can't get that unstoppable buff, and it just makes it a lot easier of a fight for you. So I hope you guys can use him a little more, have a good time with him. I enjoy him. I think he's strong.